It's 2025 and Most is uploading on this channel. Welcome back to the podcast channel. I thought, man, if I really want to be great, I want to talk about basketball. I want to enjoy time with you guys. I thought this was going to be something different a long time ago. It was supposed to be a show. It was supposed to be a production, all that. It didn't turn out to be that. And I'm tired of making excuses in life, man. I had the podcast thing going for a while, man. I really had it going. It was going to be heading in the right track, but we had to start over. We had to do all that. So it's no worries. I thought, why not start now? Because we have a lot to talk about with the All-Star Weekend 2025 in San Francisco Bay Area. Honestly, the new format sounds kind of interesting. I don't know if it's going to be good. I like that they're trying new things. If you guys don't know about the new format, we'll discuss it here. We'll also be discussing who got snubbed. I think a couple people should have made the All-Star team that didn't. It was actually really interesting because we have a bunch of first-timers, and then we have a person that in the first time in history, like pretty much someone who was top of their voting, just didn't make it. So that's actually really interesting. So I hope you guys are here to just kind of give me your feedback as well. I want this to be a discussion, not just me kind of saying stuff. I want to know all your thoughts about this whole matter. So let's begin with the rising stars. So basically this is going to be important because one of these teams, they're going to be teams. There's an NBA sophomore team, an NBA rookie team, and an NBA G League team that are going to be playing in a little tournament. And the winner will be playing on Sunday night in the All-Star game. This is brand new, never been done before, and I think this could be really good because I'm sure like these sophomores, for example, or these rookies, they have something to prove. They want to show out. They want to play hard. These G League dudes, they want their opportunities. So I'm not going to go through the list of all the guys in here. We had some big names such as Victor Wembanyama on the sophomore team, but he's actually going to be missing the game because he made the All-Star team. Like I just discussed, the winner of this is going to be playing on Sunday, so he can't play on two different teams, if that makes sense. So he's like waved off because of that. Lively is going to be out because of injury, as well as Brandon Miller. So that sophomore team is losing 3 of their players. I'll talk about who is replacing them. And then McCain for the rookie team will not be playing on that team. So that's just kind of a breakdown of who's not. We see some kind of big names. I don't really see the sophomore team or the rookie team really cooking and doing their thing against the NBA team, like the guys with more and more experience. But it should be really interesting nonetheless. I want to see if the G League can fight with some of these guys. We see some names there. But here are the replacements. We'll go ahead and see those really fast. We see that Anthony Black will be playing for the sophomore team, as well as Kamara. And then we have Thompson joining his twin brother, so they'll be playing together. And then Ryan Dunn makes the rookie team instead of McCain. So that's really cool, interesting, nice. I like that. Now let's discuss the All-Star player pool. So this is going to be a draft. And basically, like I said, brand new format. So the way this is going to work is there's no captain this year. There is none of that. If you guys haven't heard, basically there's going to be 3 captains. They're turning this roster into 3 different teams. It will be drafted on Thursday, the weekends before. Well, actually, it'll be, next weekend. So it'll be like a week before the actual game, because the game will be on February 16th. So they'll have a week pretty much to know their team so they can sell merchandise, so they can get together and practice, not really, but kind of know the game plan moving forward. So the captains are going to be as follows. It's going to be Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaquille O'Neal, and they'll be drafting based on the starters and then on their bench. One thing I really do like about this idea that they got going on is basically it's going to be a tournament, right? It's going to be, they're going to play each other. So one team will play the other team, and then the other team will play the rookie team, or whoever wins from the rising stars, the sophomores, the rookies, or the G League. So basically that team probably has a little bit more of an advantage. I'm assuming, I don't know if they talked about this, but I'm gonna assume the person who picks last will get to play that team, so they could kind of have a better or more fair advantage. I don't know how they're going to actually dictate it or what is it going to be based off of, but it's going to be no game clock, no shot clock, no nothing clock. There's literally no clock. They're playing first to 40 points. So you score 40, this is going to be like literally like street ball, man. This is going to be interesting. I think it'll make people play a little bit harder. And now the teams are going to be smaller. Like before, I think the All-Star team has so many players. So like everyone wants to play. Everyone wants some run. They like the coach trying to throw everyone out there. Everyone's trying to get theirs. Now game 40, like you're going to see the 7-8 players on a team or whatever trying to just battle it out better. It's going to be a little bit more bragging rights. Hopefully. I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it more competitive. So hopefully that's what happens. Now let's go ahead and discuss who I think shouldn't be here or who I think should have replaced some of these guys. We'll start off with just the starters on the West. I guess we'll go West first and then we'll go East. So West Coast, we got Steph, who made it. Obviously, because of the name, Steph Curry, you're not going to take him out. He is who he is. The same thing with KD. Same thing with LeBron. They're going to get the most votes. They're obviously the top of the top for the past 10 years, and they deserve to be there, okay? They deserve to be there. We're not going to take anything away from them. We got Mr. Jokic, the guy that's been winning MVPs left and right. Definitely deserved. And we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another MVP runner-up. The guy that's always in the talk lately, definitely a baller. We won't see Luka because he was ineligible from games played, which kind of brings us to the point that his running mate, Kyrie, who has been playing really, really well, did not make the All-Star game. Kyrie averages, points-wise, all right? I know the league is not all about scoring, but he outscores 12 All-Stars on this list. He has more points per game than Steph, than LeBron. I could go down the list. He averages more than so many of these dudes, and his team's been doing well, and it's all, I'm not going to say all because of him, but he has a big role, a big part of that. And the fact that he didn't make it is one of the snubs we should discuss. We'll go ahead and look at their bench, and we'll start off by saying Anthony Davis is most likely not going to be playing, and he most likely will be replaced. He just got injured a couple of days ago. He's going to be reevaluated in a week, so I expect him to be taken out. And in his space, or place, I don't know why I said space, but in his place, I assume they're going to be taking a guy named Sabonis to replace him, because Sabonis has definitely been snubbed. If they do want to take a big man, I assume that's what they'll do. Otherwise, Kyrie would be the next man up. I think those two out west definitely got snubbed. I know I wasn't going to discuss that now, but I'm also going to be uploading on my More Most channel. I'll link it down below, or you can look me up at More Most Bowling. And I will be watching videos of every player that's been snubbed and seeing if they deserved it, okay? Everyone that I'm going to be discussing today. Now, Anthony Edwards deserves to be an all-star. He's one of the bright future spots of the league. We got James Harden, who's been having an insane year. He's doing it all at his age and just kind of carrying the slack of Kawhi Leonard being out, and then no more Paul George, which brings us to Norman Powell. Probably could have made the team too, the way he's been averaging. He's their leading scorer on the Clippers. They've been playing pretty well. He might have had a shot at making that team. Then you got Jaren Jackson Jr., JJJ for the Grizzlies. He, Defensive Player of the Year. Do I need to say more? He's been winning that. He's been consistently one of the best rim protectors, as well as being able to switch and all that. He's the reason the Memphis Grizzlies are who they are. Şengün, first-time All-Star. We see him making his way here. People were saying that Sabonis deserved it more. But if you really think about it, the Rockets are second in the West. They have the top 2 seed. And would you really not take a single player from a team that's top 2 and then take a guy like Sabonis, who's 10th, I believe. They're 10th in the West. So it kind of makes sense why Şengün made it. But I know some people didn't like that. I think he deserves it. He's right there in that caliber. I know I see these pictures all the time where it's like Jokic is Charizard, and then Charmeleon is Sabonis, and then Şengün is Charmander. So they evolved from Şengün on to Sabonis, and then to Jokic. But it's funny stuff. I like it. It's enjoyable. But Şengün deserves it. He's been playing really well. He's one of the reasons that team has been moving the way they've been moving. Obviously not the only reason, but one of. We got Victor Wembanyama, another first-time All-Star. as well as Jalen Williams, first-time All-Star. So we got 3 right to round out the West. First-timers. Jalen Williams, that's really cool, man. I mean, OKC is number 1 in the West. Deserve to have multiple All-Stars. J-Dub being that other one is really interesting, really cool. I'm sure he's happy. I'm sure he's proud of himself. He deserves it. Victor Wembanyama, do we need to say more? Probably the most potential out of anyone in the NBA that we've ever seen. Dude is doing things we've never seen before. Can't even discuss. I've seen him hit a 3 yesterday on Giannis that made absolutely no sense. The blocks he's been getting, bro, he's like beyond out blocking anybody. I've seen the block. I don't know if you guys saw the block the other night. The Dame tried to throw it off the top of the glass, and he still took it out the air. It actually made no sense. So yeah, I mean, I don't see anyone really not playing in this game besides maybe AD. If someone else does drop, I hope Kyrie can make it to squeeze his way in there. He deserves it. He hasn't made the All-Star team. He didn't make it last year. He didn't make the Olympic team. Even though he's one of those guards that in a couple years from now, we're going to be like, oh man, Kyrie and Steph, what a great guards. Like, there's going to be a lot of guards we talk about that, like, we're so good. And I understand why. Well, never mind. We don't have to talk about it. But let's go and move on over to the East, which there's definitely a lot of controversy out there, and there's a lot of first-timers there as well. We got some first-time All-Stars that we will discuss. I think there's a total of 6 first-time All-Stars this year, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not. So let's go move on over to Giannis, a starter, obviously, makes sense. You're not going to not put the Greek Freak there. You got Jalen Brunson starting. The Knicks have been doing pretty well, and he's one of their engines. We got actually 2 starters from the Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. They've been playing really, really well together. The Knicks have been doing pretty well as well. They have a game tonight against the Lakers, and it is the highest priced game of this season. The cheapest ticket right now is $420. It makes sense, it's MSG, but it also makes sense because of LeBron James being in town. But we'll move on over to the next guard, and that's Donovan Mitchell. Now, the Cavaliers are the best team in the NBA right now, record-wise. Well, them and OKC, they right there, top, neck and neck, all that. And they got 3 players making the All-Star team. Yes, 3. When is the last time we've seen 3 from the same team? I'm sure we've seen it. I can't remember really a lot of teams that had 3 or 4. There was, obviously. I'm thinking like teams like the Atlanta Hawks, where they had like 4, I believe, one of those years where Kyle Korver snuck in there and stuff like that. Obviously, like you got Miami with the Heatles and stuff. But honestly, 3 is crazy. We'll discuss them later. Donovan deserves to be there. He is Spider. He does what he does. So he's going to be starting, as well as Jason Tatum. JT didn't really get much playing time in the Olympics, and he's on a mission. The Celtics are, as always. They didn't really get a lot of love after winning that championship last year. So I think they're on a vengeance. That's why Jaylen Brown, the first reserve we'll talk about in the East, is doing what he doing, right? Jaylen Brown's been absolutely, like, that team. You could literally take any one of them and put them in the All-Star game, obviously. Like, I think you could put Drew in there. You could put Derek White. You could say KP if he actually plays more games. Like, they all are kind of all-stars in their own sense. But we'll move on over to a first-timer, Mr. Cade Cunningham, the Detroit Piston. And wow, Cade, we see you, man. Congratulations. First-time All-Star. That is awesome. That's great. The Pistons look a lot better this year. They're not the laughing stock as they were previously. They're being a little bit more competitive for sure. They're winning some big games. Now we got other teams to laugh at, like the Washington Wizards. Obviously, the Nets are always in the case. I'm a Nets fan, so we know we're always a laughing stock. You got the Hornets, still kind of one of the laughing stocks. Like, so they made it out of there. They made it out the trenches. They're working on something bigger, better. We got Darius Garland joining Donovan Mitchell as the second Cavalier. So the guards there are doing their thing. They making it. Garland was an all-star last year, if I'm not mistaken. Then you got Mr. Tyler Hero, a first-timer. Tyler Hero is one of those that people are wondering, why is he an all-star? I've seen people talking about that. And honestly, Miami's been through a lot this year, especially with what's happening with Jimmy Butler lately. No one knows what's going to happen. I can't wait for the trading deadline and to see what movements we see. I'm actually really curious what happens there. But Tyler is a Heat. player, and he loves being there. He's been looking like Steph sometimes, the way he comes up and drains that thing. He's been showing signs of growth, maturity. He's being a little bit more consistent, and it makes sense. But the one knock we'll say is there's two really, really good guards that could have taken that spot, like really, really good ones. And they're both like up there. Like Trae Young, for example, he's leading the league in assists. He's leading all guards. Leading. I don't know if I said leading. Sometimes my words, like, I talk too fast. So he's leading all guards in double doubles with points and assists. So like this dude's literally averaging 11 assists a game on the Atlanta Hawks, who aren't even that good. Like who's he even passing to get an assist? Is he passing to himself and then shooting and it's counting? Like, it's actually impressive. That dude's averaging 11 with that squad. I'm not really hating. I know the Hawks are a pretty solid team, but it's just crazy that he's overlooked like that over and over and over again. Then you got the guy, Mr. LaMelo, who led all guards in voting out east. The fan voting. He is a fan favorite. This youngster. All the young kids want to see LaMelo ball, man. Like, literally, they want to see LaMelo ball. Like, shoot. Like, play. Like, pass. Like, do. Like that. And this is the first time we've ever seen someone lead in voting and not make the All-Star game. That's crazy. He was up there even in like player voting. He was that's crazy that he, so if you guys don't know, they actually changed how the reserves get voted in, and they're voted by coaches. So like the coaches didn't see LaMelo being an All-Star. And I saw like a stat the other day. I was talking about it on stream. So basically in one-legged three-pointers, the second guy on the list shot 7 throughout the whole year. Shot 7 one-legged threes. The third guy shot 6, 5. Like, they show like the top list of one-legged threes this season. And number 1 was literally LaMelo Ball, not shooting 8 or 9 or 10, but shooting 51 one-legged threes. He's shooting them at a 40% clip. But I think what he's doing, yes, it's very entertaining to the youngsters, in my opinion. And bro, he's doing stuff we've never seen before. Like, he looks like he doesn't belong on NBA court. He belongs in N1. He's Mr. Hot Sauce. He's doing all this stuff. The professor, like, he's looking like literally just, he's not media trained. That's one, we know that. But he's not NBA trained too, and that's a really good thing. It's hard to find someone who's genuinely just enjoying the game, just trying to be different and not being the same as everyone else are being told. And I think the coaches probably don't like that as much. Like, they don't see that, and they're looking for more fundamental guys or guys that are kind of fit systems and stuff. So I feel bad for him. I thought he should have been an all-star, especially after the voting came through and it looked like he was going to be one, and rightfully so. So he looks, I don't know. We're going to talk about who I think can make it if someone does drop, but I don't see someone really dropping out east that much. So we'll move on over to another guard that made it, Damian Lillard. The Bucks, surprisingly, too. I mean, Dame is an all-star, don't get me wrong, but, like, that could have not happened, you know? Then you got Evan Mobley making the all-star team. Yes, I know the bigs out in Cleveland are a reason they've been winning. You could say that about Jared Allen, who I love a lot. Evan Mobley, like, the team deserves all-stars. I get that 100%. And then you got Siakam making the all-star team. The Indiana Pacers finally starting to pick it up. They started off really bad. Tyrese Halliburton could not do anything in life. And Siakam's been kind of weathering that storm, and they're kind of getting a rhythm going. I've seen a lot of people hating on Siakam becoming an all-star. And honestly, I don't know. It is definitely tough. It's definitely tough picking all-stars. You guys let me know who you would replace out of this Eastern Conference list. Is there someone you would remove? Would it be Hero? Would it be Lillard? Would it be Siakam? Mobley? One of those back-end fours. We should have noted that it is Mobley's first all-star game as well. Siakam's been an all-star before, if I'm not mistaken, 100%. And honestly, I like the list. I really wonder how the draft is going to be like. It should be interesting. So I don't know. We don't know yet who's going to have first pick. Is there going to be a lot of bias? I don't know. I'm assuming Charles Barkley's not going to be great at drafting. He's going to pick names and just like we're going to see weird teams. That's what I'm trying to get at. We might see an all big man lineup. Like Shaq might go all bigs or Kenny might go too small. Like we're going to see. I believe Kenny will probably be the better drafter. Even though then again, Shaq might be pretty solid too as a GM. It'll be interesting. Let me know who you guys think would win that overall, like who's got it. And I personally, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the new format. I liked when they messed with it and made it the 24-point second half or fourth quarter, I should say, and they were just kind of rolling that way. Every quarter, someone wins. It was a good change of pacing. The All-Star game has definitely struggled. Definitely not what we're used to. If you're an old-time fan where you are used to competitive games, but we kind of forget that it was a different time. It really was. Like, it was not even just like the players' mindsets of, oh, I really want to win, I'm more competitive. No, man, the game was just not the same. Like, nowadays, these guys are smarter. They don't want to get injured for a game for fun. These guys get paid way too much. And I'm not saying to care. Like, yeah, they're supposed to care, and I'm sure they do care to a certain extent. But the way social media is nowadays, they're not trying to get exposed and embarrassed. A lot of them. I know some people don't care. Like Victor Wembanyama's still going to jump and try to block you. Same with Jaren Jackson Jr. Edwards and some of these youngins really want to put on highlights and put on shows. They want to dunk on you. They're going to take it competitive. And I think this new format might have a shot. It might have a shot. Some of the other guys also, they're getting too old, bro. You really think LeBron cares about the All-Star game in year 22 that much? Like, he's there for fun. It's a good way to, like, break from the regular season. Same with Steph and KD. But they're there for the vibes. They're there to enjoy. They're not there to kill each other, and they have bigger goals, right? They're trying to be there in June at the end of it. So that's something to consider. I'm really interested to see some of these first-timers play, see if they get a shot. I know last year Damian Lillard won All-Star MVP. I'm pretty positive about that one. And we saw pretty much a great show from guards over the past couple years, just shooting a lot of threes. There's been big numbers, and that's something that now with a 40-point cap, we're not going to get to see, but we'll definitely get an interesting way to see MVP. Now you got to basically win 2 games. So some of these guys, if you're on a bad team, like say, for example, Kevin Durant, who's a beast, all of that, say he gets a bad team, or this, is there really a bad team? Yeah, you can. If you're like outmatched and stuff, yeah, there is. I doubt Jokic cares about anything besides horses. You know what I mean? So if you get like a bad team, and you're out early, like you don't even win that first game, you have no shot. So now we'll see what the teams are that make it to the finals and work their way up. I'll be really interested to see if one of these rising stars team really pulls off some kind of upset. Like if a G League team somehow makes it to Sunday night, or if the rookie team, that would kind of be an upset in my opinion. It would, because you're not supposed to be there with the sophomores. And that should be an interesting thing in itself. None of them will compete with these guys, in my opinion. But maybe they keep it somewhat interesting or close, like till 20 points or something before one of the other teams. I don't know. It all depends. I'm curious to see how it goes. I will be uploading on the other channel some highlights of LaMelo Ball, as well as some of the other guys I mentioned, like Kyrie Irving this season. We'll take a look at Trae Young this season. Sabonis, maybe. I don't know if that'll be even fun to watch, but Sabonis does what he does. Double-doubles all day and all that. I hope you guys enjoy me being back. We'll be uploading way more consistently if we get some news of trades, injuries. There's been a lot of injuries going on. We saw DeJounte Murray go out yesterday, which is sad. Any kind of injury happening really affects the whole league, man. You never want to wish an injury upon anyone, even if it's a team you don't like or a player you don't like. You want everyone to be healthy at the end of the day, and it sucks because like these guys, like that's their job, and then they get hurt, and now it just messes it up for like the whole future, the whole trajectory of the NBA. Think of all like the crazy players that got hurt. We'll discuss more about that stuff. If there's any topics you want me to discuss too, I don't know how often I'll upload on this channel. But I want to make a schedule, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. We'll have that, except if something crazy happens. But with all that said, I'll see you guys later. Happy February 2025. 2025. I don't know. But it's been great to be back. Great to talk to you guys. And I'll see y'all soon. February 16th. Can't come any sooner. We're ready for All-Star Weekend. And we about to go crazy. Peace.